I work as a 911 operator. It's been 36 hours since I got that first call about a sleepwalking man. A call that, if I'm honest with myself, I initially thought was going to make an amusing story that I could tell my husband over dinner. After all, sleepwalking isn't a real emergency, right? Below, I copied and pasted the transcription of the call. 911 call recorded at 12:01 p.m. 911, what's your emergency?
Hello, my name is Maggie Ellis, and I need help.
Yes, ma'am, I will assist you. What is the nature of your emergency?
It's my husband. There's something wrong.
Okay, ma'am, what's exactly the problem? Is your husband hurt? Is he threatening you? Tell me everything you can.
Well, I don't know how to explain it. My husband, Joe, he took a nap. That's not unusual. Every day he wakes up at 11:30 a.m. He takes his siesta, and he wakes up promptly a half hour later. He doesn't even need an alarm. Anyways, that's not important. So Joe nods off, as usual, and I go to do some laundry, and the next thing I know, not 5 minutes later, he's standing right behind me. But the thing is, it's not him. I mean, it is, but he's sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking?
Yes, the man I've been married to for 29 years is sleepwalking for the first time. Well, ever. And he's staring at me, only he's not. More like he's staring through me. You know, like not seeing me, and his eyes. They look cloudy, not blue. My Joe, his eyes are blue like the ocean, but these eyes were gray, just like the sky before a storm.
Ma'am, are you asking what to do with someone who is sleepwalking? If possible, I believe you should gently, very gently, guide your husband back to bed.
Yes, I know. I did that. I went to Joe and said, "Joe, sweetie, you're sleeping. I'm going to bring you back to bed, okay?" But he didn't move. He just stood there like he was made of stone. And then, when I went to check his forehead to see if he was warm or sick, he hit me.
Your husband struck you?
Yes, very hard. Never in our time together has he ever done this. The man, he's an accountant. He's practically a pacifist.
Okay, ma'am. I don't fully understand what's happening, but just to be safe, I'm going to send someone to assist you. Where's your husband now?
I don't know. After he hit me, he just walked off and I don't know what to do. So I called the doctor and he wasn't in, so I called you. Here, let me see if I can find him. Joe? Joe? Can you hear me?
Ma'am, I don't need to go looking for him. Please just stay where you are.
Oh my.
Ma'am, what is happening? Please listen to me. I need you to go somewhere safe. Where are you right now?
I'm in the kitchen. What in God's name has happened? Every drawer has been opened. Oh my. Joe, what on earth have you done?
Ma'am, please tell me, what do you see? Ma'am?
It's all the drawers. They've all been emptied. And two of the knives from the butcher block are... Oh no, Joe. Joe, sweetie. It's Maggie, your wife.
Ma'am, I need you to talk to me. Is your husband there?
Joe, please put the knife... You're sleeping. Joe, wake up. Joe. No, Joe, stop. Joe, wake up, please. God, wake up.
Less than 2 seconds after the call went dead, I called Maggie back. My training, I suppose, took over even as my heart went racing out of control and all the saliva on my mouth fled to God knows where. Feeling powerless, I prayed. I might even spoken out loud. Maggie, please pick up. Please. But still I knew. I knew from the pitch and the terror of her screams. I know this might sound strange, but it's a skill I developed, in part because of my brave, borderline reckless little 4-year-old Brian. God, do I love that boy so, but I swear, it's not a week, not one fucking week goes by when Bree doesn't injure himself somehow, emulating his hero, that Brit survivalist, Bear Grylls, jumping off of trees and rocks. Over time, I'm not kidding, I learned my son's screams so accurately I could tell the type of injury without even seeing it. Cuts and scrapes sounded different than bumps and bruises. And when he broke his arm last year, I knew even though I was out of view and a good 40 feet away, I knew the injury was different. I could hear not just pain but panic in his voice, believing in his little heart he might just die. But he didn't. Hearing Maggie scream over the phone, shrill and desperate, at first then crescendoing in this gurgle of blood. I even knew, as the phone continued to ring, I knew there was zero chance she would answer. Less than 10 minutes later, police arrived at Maggie and Joe Ellis's house, finding Maggie still in the kitchen where he had left her. The medical examiner would later count exactly 20 stab wounds, 10 to the chest, and another 10 to the face. Never before had the examiner seen an attack that was so savage, but also so exacting. As for Maggie's killer, Joe himself was nowhere to be found. The back door to his house was left wide open. The knives from the butcher block, gone. Given what had happened, given that my face was still white as the sheet, my hands were trembling with fright, but also shame. Given that my superior, David, volunteered to drive me home, I told him no. I might have even said something idiotic like this not being my first rodeo, trying to pretend my stomach wasn't spinning cartwheels. Looking back, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Maybe I was trying to feign bravery and take back control. Whatever the reason, I told myself, just take another call. Move on and forget. Move on and just help whoever calls next. It took less than a minute until the next call came in, but because we work in rotation, it didn't come to my station, but instead to Marissa Carmichael, my best friend at work and my role model for pretty much everything. Husband, children, work, life, and balance. Marissa had it all figured out. She always joked that the key to life was to make as many mistakes as possible, preferably when you're still young. Marissa swore that to truly learn, first, you had to fail. Marissa had experience at failing, having been kicked out of school when she was 16 after getting knocked up by an abusive piece of shit who was at least 10 years older. Later, she'd lose the baby after getting pushed down the stairs, her swollen belly smacking hard against the slab tile floor. Hitting literal rock bottom, Marissa, long story short, picked herself up. She buried her unborn child, got her GED, and joined the Navy, returning years later to Greenville, a changed woman. First thing she did when she got back to town was bait her abusive piece of shit ex into a fight where he threw the first punch and she threw the last. I tell you, Marissa was my hero. Not just unflappable, but invulnerable. Or so I thought. The call came from the local hospital, St. Francis Memorial, which in itself, yeah, maybe that should have raised alarm bells. I mean, considering that a hospital has their own security and obviously no one's better equipped to handle a medical emergency. Below is that 911 call. 911 call, time 12:06 p.m. 911, What's your emergency?
Help! This is Shannon Clark. I'm an RN at the ICU here at St. Francis. We have a security guard down. Ooh, we need help.
Shannon, I can hear you. I will dispatch police right away, but first, what exactly do you mean down?
Stabbed. Dead. I don't know. It was a patient. She was asleep, and then she just got up. She took out her IV and started wandering. I tried to stop her myself, but I couldn't. It was like she wasn't even there. Like she was sleepwalking. So I had security try to bring her back, and oh God, she stabbed him. She stabbed him with her own IV. Oh Jesus, oh God. There's another one.
Shannon, another what?
Another patient. Oh Jesus. He's got blood on his gown and his eyes. Oh God. He's got a scalpel. Help. Someone help. Oh no, he's walking towards me.
Shannon, I need you to listen.
Oh God, no. He's not walking, he's running. Help. Help me.
Shannon, run. Run and get somewhere. End of call. As quickly as the call ended, Marissa was sending police en route. At the time, I had only heard one side of the call. I would read the transcription later. But I already knew. Somehow, her call and mine were related. I wanted so badly to talk to Marissa right then and there to confirm the horrible churning in my gut, but I couldn't, because now my line was ringing as well. And not just mine, but all 5 terminals at once. Marissa, Glenn, Rebecca, Louise. All of our lines were flashing red. Now, Greenville is not a large town by any stretch of the imagination. In total, there are maybe 6,000 residents, but still, we have small town pride when it comes to emergency services, vowing we will always be there for a neighbor in need. My hope is whoever reads this will be compassionate and not judge any of us too harshly for not putting 2 and 2 together sooner. But in our defense, none of us could believe what was happening. Seemingly, normal people in all walks of life, all them residents from Greenville, were falling asleep, and most taking a casual mid-afternoon nap, only to wake up minutes later, changed, milky white eyes, and an unquenchable thirst for violence. I had to go. I can hear someone outside scratching at the door. Also, my eyes are so heavy. I have to stand, I have to do something. If I sit anymore, I'll sleep. So far, it's been 36 hours since the first call, 12 hours since I last heard from my husband, and close to 48 hours since I last slept. I don't know what is causing this. I don't know if it's viral or bacterial. I just don't know. Nobody does. It's like a sickness, one that doesn't have a name or genesis or whatever, but the symptoms are clear. All I can do is try to stay awake a little longer, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time, and just hope somehow, someone, somewhere, can please make this waking nightmare stop. It makes no sense, but there is absolutely nothing about what is happening here in Greenville, anywhere on the news, on the internet, nowhere. It's like the whole town has been sucked into a black hole. But I swear to God, what is happening here is real. God, I'm so tired. After I check the windows and the doors, I think I'm going to take a cold shower, and then more coffee. With luck, I'll find the strength to keep writing. I know this might sound cowardly, but the truth is, there is a part of me that just wants to close my eyes. A part of me that is ready to give up and accept my fate for doing the unthinkable, for abandoning my post. That's right, I did. I abandoned my terminal. I ran out on my coworkers and left calls unanswered when I was needed most. When my town needed me. But I didn't have a choice. I had to leave. It took longer than maybe I should have to accept that this wasn't some dream, but the pathology was crystal clear. You sleep, you change, you kill. And that's what I thought washed over me, flooding every synapses of my brain, until all the rational function was gone, and all that was left was dread. Brian, my 4-year-old angel, it was almost nap time at my son's school.